I opened up before about how I was once Jehovah's Witness and my congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses disowned me while I was still a teenager. And if we're being honest, I hadn't even finished puberty at the time, so I did not have the support system or self-esteem. I had not gotten far enough into developing as a human being to know how to deal with that kind of situation. Hey Sibs! I'm using an entirely new lens. It's a 35mm. My old one, if you've been following me, you know, like, my stuff all got broken on my last trip to Palawan, which was my last vlog. So because my lens was broken, I'm right now using a really different kind of lens. It pretty much focuses on every detail on my face and blurs out everything else, and I don't know if I like this much detail, but we're gonna make this work. So anyways, a lot of people have been talking to me about this commercial, this viral close-up commercial called Free to Love. And I know Jesse made a reaction video, Benedict Kua made a reaction video. I'm about to watch it for the first time now, and I don't know a lot about it. I know that it's from Close Up, I know that it's LGBT themed. So I decided, why not shoot a reaction video? So this is it. This is my reaction to Lost Loves. These are real stories of couples who were denied the freedom to love.
When your partner's parents doesn't approve the relationship that you're having, that would be the hardest part. Many eyes of people will look at you and judge you.
I did fall in love with someone who did not belong to my caste. Both our castes were different, me being a Punjabi and he being a Brahmin. So we had to separate, we had to part ways.
Alright, pause. I'm not going to react to every detail, but I know that in India they do have a caste system. This is something I remember reading since I think middle school. So I think in a lot of Asian countries you have more classist societies where the differences between the rich and the poor are wider. And I guess it's already interesting off the bat that they're deciding to not just be 100% about LGBT relationships. They're also incorporating socioeconomic factors as a reason for why you might not be able to love the person you love. Anyways, now we're in Brazil.
Eu acho que a situação homossexual no Brasil é muito difícil. Primeiro porque a gente é o país que mais que tem a maior parada gay do mundo e o país que mais mata homossexuais no mundo.
Yikes.
Eu acho que o fato de meus pais não terem me aceitado da melhor maneira mexeu muito com o meu relacionamento com Maria Eduarda. Acho que a gente talvez tivesse tido futuro diferente.
We were quite happy together. We had a huge list that we would go to this place, do that.
First months of the relationship were good, and then as time goes by, relationship adjusts too much because of the social pressure we feel. So the relationship didn't last that long.
Since in a country like India, we did have to take a decision which was not completely in our hands. We had to stick to what people had decided for us, which was somewhere not a good decision.
Eu lembro a última vez que eu vi Maria Eduarda e foi muito difícil pra mim. Ela tava indo embora, a gente se viu no aeroporto. Acho que já faz uns 2 anos e meio. E foi bem difícil, assim, partiu meu coração ver ela me deixando ali. Eu lembro que eu chorei por horas, assim.
Alright, so that's the main twist. These are ex-lovers. They haven't seen each other for several years, and this is now the moment they're about to.
I can't believe you're here. So nice. I think that relationship is the one which I'm going to cherish throughout my life, even if we are not together today.
E ela simplesmente aparecer ali na minha frente me deixou sem palavras.
We should have the full freedom to love and be with the person who we want to be.
3 and 5. I wouldn't have guessed that number, but there's actually a lot of reasons why you would not be able to love the person you love, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Alright. Asthma. I have a lot of different thoughts going in my head. 2 different trains. There's a group of thoughts about how I relate to this, but then there's also a group of thoughts about like, okay, we just watched 3 different countries. How do they compare to where we live? How does being gay in Filipino, gay in Peruvian, how does being gay in Southeast Asia in general compare to being gay in Brazil or lesbian in the US? But you know, I will share my own experiences and then I'll jump to the next subject, how being LGBT here relates to different parts of the world. So, me naman, for those who've actually been around here for a while, you guys know a few things about me, a few personal things. I've been super transparent about the fact that my parents disowned me when I was younger, and I opened up before about how I was once Jehovah's Witness and my congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses disowned me while I was still a teenager. And if we're being honest, I hadn't even finished puberty at the time, so I did not have the support system or self-esteem. I had not gotten far enough into developing as a human being to know how to deal with that kind of situation. Everybody I knew was pretty much a Jehovah's Witness. The only people I was allowed to be friends with were Jehovah's Witness. So it was sort of like cutting myself off from all communication with the world for a while. That was really traumatic as a gay teenager, and for anyone who for any reason isn't able to love the person they love, I am sorry. There aren't words for that. But I guess that's reality, and that reminds us that there's more to do. So, me naman, first off, what I try to do. Anyone who knows me also knows I'm a big supporter of the SOGI Equality Bill. Because here in the Philippines, before most of us can even fathom marriage equality, a lot of us are still just doing our best to make sure that the worst discrimination doesn't go unpunished. We in the Philippines do not have a basic anti-discrimination bill. That's where we are. And in actuality, what that means is, if you get kicked out of your school for having hair too long, if you are explicitly quit from your job because you're gay, or denied employment because you're lesbian, you cannot do anything. If you live in QC or if you live in, I believe, Davao, there are specific municipalities that have anti-discrimination laws. But nationwide, wala. And the truth is it takes a lot of people's commitment to your cause to oftentimes ever even get justice. Look at Jennifer Laude and the Pemberton case. You had a trans woman who was physically abused and eventually murdered by an American soldier. For several months, we weren't sure if we were going to see any form of justice. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We should have an anti-discrimination law that protects people from all these different possibilities, that gives you legal recourse when you are beaten or abused, denied employment, kicked out of school. That should be your right as a member of the LGBT community. Anyways, I kind of already did it, jumping ahead of myself. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about how being LGBT here relates to other parts of the world. I think it's healthy to compare yourself, not ourselves, but our legal systems to other parts of the world. And we have a lot to do. At the same time, we've come a long way. We have the largest pride parade in all of Southeast Asia. We beat Singapore. Booyah! So I think it's safe to say we are growing as a community and our allies are growing with us. The fact that Close Up did this commercial, they're recognizing us as a community. And I've seen more brands in the last few years explicitly show support for our community. I'm looking forward to seeing more. Yes, it's good sometimes to look at how our legal systems compared to other countries. Yes, we obviously do not have the best here in the Philippines, but at the same time, we don't have the worst, because there are parts of the country where you can still be killed for being LGBT. And I think that was one of the great things about how Close Up incorporated that girl from Brazil, where you saw her talking about that. Hey, so that is what it is. So anyways, I'm happy I saw this. Thank you for those who were sharing it the other day. Alright, now I'll really let you guys go. How do you guys feel about this 35mm lens? Again, my other lens is still broken. I'm working on fixing it, but or getting it replaced. I don't know what's gonna happen yet. But I kind of like how this looks in pictures, but I'm not sure about video. I don't know if you want you guys looking at every detail of my face, how sunburned my nose is. Like, there is so much detail. You can kind of see what part has been peeled off and what hasn't yet. Anyways, I'll leave you with that thought instead. More love till next vlog. Bye!